It's either gonna work out or it's gonna be as useless as a bathroom scale in space, but either way, you're getting a roasted cauliflower recipe. Welcome, welcome. So I'm gonna try to get through this whole video without saying the word. So you know what's going on, but my boyfriend in the other room doesn't. A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. And unfortunately, this girl and her boyfriend are vegan. Being the philanthropist that I am, I thought I need to stop messing with the butter. I thought that why not make a vegan chicken? What is chicken, you ask? Don't worry, this Virgo's got the story for you. Gather around, children, it's story time. Aww. As the story goes, in 1982, an editor in Glamour's fashion department gave her assistant a recipe for the most delicious roast chicken she'd ever tasted. The assistant then cooked this chicken for her boyfriend, who proposed a month later. This is where they get cheeky. Indeed, the proposal was likely due to the fact that their committed, loving relationship was heading in that direction, and not because of her roast chicken, but the assistant passed the recipe along to 3 more staffers who, upon cooking it for their partners, also got engaged. The recipe was published in the January 2004 issue of Glamour, and engagement chicken was born. In the years since, the recipe has been credited with dozens of marriage proposals, including some speculation that a roast chicken might have led to the engagement. Our hero, a national treasure, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. It goes on to say that the recipe has showed up anywhere from Martha Stewart to my Lord and Savior, the Barefoot Contessa. I don't know what else I want to say from this, because it's starting to get like women power, we don't need men, and if I'm being honest, I want my man. So we're gonna figure this out. All I got right now is a cauliflower. Now, I took this cauliflower and I washed it, make sure there's no little bugs. I took out all the green. This is like, I don't know, I feel like this is about a 1/2 foot in diameter. Wanted like a tiny hen, but we don't eat birds, so cauliflower. I'm gonna go step by step. I've kind of combined Barefoot Contessa's recipe along with Glamour's original, and I'm gonna listen to my love, Ina, tell me what to do and follow you along. The only thing I've really changed a lot are the measurements are a little bit smaller, and I've taken 2 tablespoons of miyokos butter, melted it, and then stirred in the no chicken better than bouillon. This is what it looks like. And I'm gonna actually baste the cauliflower in order to mimic the animal-based flavors. You can also do this with poultry seasoning or some chickenless seasoning. Flavor and taste it to however you want. I used about 1/2 teaspoon in here, just because I wanted to be able to salt it myself. So do be mindful for those adjustments when you're trying to catch your man. I'm going to start it off on my counter and then transfer it into my Dutch oven. This would probably be better in a baking pan. I don't know. I haven't gotten married yet, so I haven't had a registry, so I only have that. I don't have a roasting pan. Don't remind me of it. Anyways, moving on. Let's tune in with Ina. Ooh, that's an ad. I'm gonna watch it, make sure she gets her money.
Start with the chicken, about 4 to 5 pounds.
Okay.
Chicken.
This is our chicken. I've already rinsed, soaked it in some vinegar diluted with warm water to make sure I got every chance of a bug out of the little crevices. And then I rinsed it and patted it dry, let it dry really, really well so that the butter can stick.
And then salt it inside and out. Lots of salt.
Okay, she's going straight for flavoring the bird. And since we are cruelty-free over here, you know, don't really like birds, but don't want to eat them, I'm gonna take this butter, bouillon, chicken bouillon mixture, and I'm just gonna baste it all over. One of the things that chickens or living animals have is fat and skin, and that can brown, whereas vegetables are much more water-based, so they're not gonna have as good of a chance of browning unless you get some kind of fat on there. I chose to use butter instead of olive oil just because I think it's a little thicker, and I think it'll have a better chance at getting like nice and brown and delicious. Butter is great. This is starting to make a little bit of mess on my marble countertop, so I'm gonna go ahead and move it in to my Dutch oven and just pour ya on top. Hopefully I'll get to cover you evenly. If you don't have one of these little brushes, go for it, use your hands. I believe in you. And then I'm gonna use the rest and the remainder to just flavor the insides. We're also gonna stick some garlic cloves in there. So, oh, I already spilled on myself. Great. Should have worn an apron. Ina never spills on herself. Okay, now that it's looking evenly buttered, I'm gonna go get my salt and heavily salt it because we want it to have a lot of flavor, just like Ina says. I'm gonna give it some nice even salting. She uses a tablespoon. Just make sure it gets a nice good coating of salt. This is probably like a half teaspoon of salt. And then I also wanna flip it over, get the insides. If your cauliflower is bigger than like 6 inches across, you will need probably a lot more butter in your recipe, but you knew that. It's fine. It's fine. All right, let's see what else Ina has in store for us.
And pepper.
Okay, let's get some pepper. Let's do the bottom. It smells divine.
Take lemon, I'm gonna cut it in big quarters.
All right.
Just like that. And put half a lemon inside the chicken. And then when it roasts, all the lemon juices and the chicken.
Okay, Ina puts half a lemon inside the chicken. Okay, Ina. Since I don't have a cavity, a bird asshole to shove this lemon in. Wow, her lemons look like they had a margarita and a vacation. Mine look not as beautiful. I'm gonna do half a lemon instead of quartering it, quarters and then eighths, and then stick them in there. We'll figure that out later, you know? Because I also wanna stick in some garlic cloves. I'm gonna flip this guy around. These are like tiny. Problem solving skills. Let's try to have them. I'm gonna make them even skinnier. Ina, I'm just trying to make you proud. Just a little vegan who grew up watching you. You know what? All that matters is you believe in yourself. I'm gonna cut them really thin and I'm gonna use like an eighth of a lemon. What if I just did that lightly? Okay, that's fine. Let's see what else Ina does.
And then I'm gonna put garlic in too. So that's gonna roast in. Don't have to peel the garlic. You don't have to do anything. Just cut it right in half and all that fabulous garlic's gonna be in the chicken.
Obviously, I can't fit a whole fucking garlic clove inside a cauliflower because if I cored the cauliflower and made its own cavity, I would have florets and not a head. So I went ahead and I took a gracious amount of garlic cloves. I would say this is about 5 big garlic cloves, and then I just cut them into quarters here, and I'm gonna stick them in to whatever spots the lemon hasn't gotten to. So let's just do that. This is a little bit easier because the garlic is a little smaller. Whatever else, I'm just gonna put on the bottom and hopefully that'll like roast and all the juices will kind of like bubble up into it. Whatever lemon or garlic is not fitting will still be used on the bottom, okay?
And then we're gonna cook it with lots of wonderful flavors, onions, more lemon.
Let's take the rest of this lemon, cutting them into like eighths, and I'm gonna take this and start placing it along the bottom. So whatever doesn't fit in there will still caramelize, taste really nice. If you can remove as much of the seeds as you can, that would be great. So I've made a little nest of lemon to go underneath if you wanna see what that looks like. Let's add the rest of the garlic. Just on top of that lemon. And then I'm gonna add some poultry herbs. I've got some fresh thyme that I've rinsed and dried, and I'm just gonna set a couple sprigs of that. I'm gonna take some sage. I'm gonna dip it in whatever's left of the butter, dippity dip. In retrospect, I think I would have done 4 tablespoons of butter, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. I'm just hoping this works. So I got a couple sprigs of sage, and then I'm gonna do some rosemary just on top. It smells so freaking good. And then I'm gonna take the lemon that I have partially stuffed that's falling apart, and I'm just gonna flip it on top of this little nest we've made. It's quite adorable. I'll show you what it looks like. So we've got the cauliflower, the lemon, and the poultry seasoning. If there's any sticking out too far, you can either cut it, tuck it in. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it, and that's that. All right, what's next?
First, I'm going to tie this little guy together. There are lots of ways to truss a chicken, But I hate when it looks like it's in bondage.
I know, what do you know about that? Okay, so let's recover from that.
Just like that. Perfect. A little olive oil so it browns beautifully.
I've already done the olive oil part with the butter. The way Ina like rubs the chicken looks like she would give the best massage.
Clean hands are the best tools. Next I'm going to do lemons and onions. And I'm going to mix them together and roast them with the chicken. And not only will I serve them with the chicken, but it's going to become the sauce too. It's with that. The half a lemon that I've left over, I'm going to do another lemon. And include.
Okay, so I've got the onions, I've got whatever leftover lemon I'm gonna put in here, and then I'm gonna grab another lemon and cut. I'm gonna only use half. We're not using a whole bird, so I don't think we need a whole lemon. I'm gonna cut it in half, cut the tips off, cut it again, quartered, and then eighths. I'm gonna use only half of the lemon that she uses, combine it with these big chunks of yellow onion, and then I'm gonna have to toss it in a bigger bowl. Let's grab some really nice olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. You know what, the seeds are just, we're gonna ignore it, okay? We're gonna ignore it, it's fine. It's about 2 tablespoons, right? Who knows? And then
About a teaspoon of salt.
teaspoon of salt.
This is why I like to do it in a bowl so you get it really well mixed.
Pepper.
Half a teaspoon of pepper. Clean hands
Let's
again.
mix. Clean hands are the best tools.
Okay. And then
This smells so good. Make sure to really get in and separate out the onion. This is all gonna make a really good sauce. Now I'm gonna take this, as Ina says, and I'm gonna put it around the cauliflower. So just around to add to that flavor. Make sure you crowd up on the sides. Honestly, this is beautiful. I'm really proud of this. I can see why this would make you look like engagement material. Great, great, great. I'm actually gonna take some of this olive oil and put it on top just to increase our chances of good flavor. You know. All right, let's do what's next.
the lemon juices and the onions. It's so delicious.
Sounds great.
This is my version of the Glamour Magazine Girls engagement chicken.
This is more of a personalized approach. Jessie loves potatoes more than anything ever. So I'm going to also put some potatoes to roast with this. Is that a bad idea? Who knows? I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna just take these potatoes. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of olive oil on top. I'm gonna add a nice 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm gonna take some fresh rosemary that I've washed. Don't worry, trust me. And I'm just gonna add a bit in there. A tablespoon of fresh rosemary. I'm gonna add a little more olive oil, and then I'm gonna toss it all together. Yeah. Now I'm gonna take these potatoes and I'm gonna put them around the chicken, the cauliflower. Don't call PETA. Now I just wanna crowd up the sides of the cauliflower and make sure that the top doesn't get covered. I don't want all of the steam to impact its ability to brown when I stick this whole thing underneath the burner. Is there anything else? She says, no, just stick it in. Now it's Nisha's turn. It's Nisha Garden's turn. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of this little sprig of rosemary, take it apart, and kind of just sprinkle it around the edges of the cauliflower. I'm gonna put a little bit of thyme and I'm just gonna strip it off the stem, sprinkle it on top. I'm gonna take this lemon and now I'm gonna add just some nice discs. I want them really, really thin just because I don't want them to get bitter, but I do want them to look really pretty on the top. That was too thin. Don't show anyone my knife skills. And I'm just gonna zip, zap, zop. Get these on top. Drizzle a little extra olive oil just for good measure. That was a lot. Honestly, God wanted it to be that way, so I'm just gonna let God. So this recipe is obviously for chicken. So I'll have the actual time and temperature below, but right now I'm just doing trial and error. All right, pray for me. I'm gonna go turn on the oven. I'll see you at the end of this. Okay, I'm putting it in the oven. My beautiful piece of work. Praying for you. Okay, so this is the beautiful cauliflower. I mean, this on a table, scrumptious. So what I ended up doing is I started with the glamorous instructions. It wasn't getting the color or the bake I really wanted on it. I did 60 minutes and I basted every 20 minutes. It just wasn't tender enough on the inside. You can feel it has like a lot more like give and it's really soft now. So I switched over to Ina's instructions at 425. It felt way too hot, lowered it to 400, baked it for another 40 minutes, and now, if you can see, I have this gorgeous color. It looks absolutely delicious. Cut into the back earlier, it wasn't cooked all the way, so I did cook it for the full amount of time. Again, all below in the description, so let's cut into it, and then I will serve it to the lovely Jessie. It looks incredible. Also, these little bits of lemon that I put on top were burning up, so I just took them off. And then I took the juices from the drippings, poured it all over, transferred it to another pan, put the kale on there, and now we try. Cheers. My dog is eating something. That is delicious. And now we're ready to bring Jessie in. I have to adjust this so he can fit into frame. I think that's good. Should we call him in? We shall call him in. You can come on in camera, say hi to everyone.
Hi.
Speak. You
hi.
can always speak into my.
Oh, there's two.
There's two. It's a high-tech production.
Very high-tech.
I know. All right.
Who owns the studio?
Me, bitch. So what does this smell like?
It smells like a roast chicken on a rainy day.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I got you a little clove of garlic, some of the lemony herbaceous sauce. Enjoy. It's hot.
Very like elevated comfort food. Very simple,
really?
but pleasing. There's a variety of textures. Just want to try.
Do you have any questions about it, or any questions in
Is
general?
there any? What questions would you recommend I ask?
Oh, if it brings up any questions.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't taste like, like I get the, the alliums, onion, garlic, the lemon, obviously, and the herbs are well done. Not too much, not too little either. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
It's a great way to eat cauliflower.
Those bottom pieces are like dynamite. Okay, we
Hi,
need to
boo-boo.
eat dinner. Please let me know if you try it, if it works out for you, if it gets you. See if it does anything for me. And follow me on TikTok to see me unravel further if it doesn't. Bye!
Hey Jesse, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, man.
I've been wanting to get this for Nisha for a while, but, it's kind of a big thing.